Welcome to ES Ascension News Geomagnetism. This is in sharp contrast to so many who have no idea that these global changes are happening or how they are being directly impacted. We are seeing more people start to lose coherence, exhibit lunacy, or having their light bodies knocked out of their physical body. This produces a lack of physical coordination, clumsiness, and disorientation. People that are not grounded within their physical body, as the foundation beneath our feet is changing. This month we will try to connect some of the larger ascension cycle shifts happening at multi-dimensional levels with some of these strange and surreal experiences that people are having. The Earth is going through a massive geomagnetic transformation, which creates both opportunities and vulnerabilities at this time. These radical changes in the magnetic field impact the functions of our personal biology, our mind, and our consciousness. The war over timelines is more pressurized, and the people who are unaware can be easily swept up in powerful forces they would not consciously choose to participate with. It is highly suggested to focus on staying in your core, being inner directed and connected to the God Source, as well as to conserve energy and use common sense in avoiding areas of potential chaos or disruption. The Earth's magnetic field is an ever-fluctuating phenomena that greatly influences the world of subtle forces. It directly impacts all human activity, the environment, and the matter world in a myriad of ways. The Earth's magnetic field acts like a giant, invisible bubble that shields the planet from the energies in space, such as cosmic radiation. The Earth's magnetic field, also called the geomagnetic field, is the magnetic field that extends from the Earth's interior to where it intersects with the solar wind as a stream of charged particles emanating from the sun. Geomagnetism is the study of the Earth's magnetic field and all associated phenomena and forces that impact it. Many of us will recognize that very little information about geomagnetism is reported to the mainstream public because the magnetic field and gravitational waves on the Earth are highly controlled and manipulated to suppress consciousness in a variety of ways. However, undisputed facts about the rapid weakening of the Earth's magnetic field have been verified by some researchers. As of 2014, the rate of the Earth's magnetic field weakening had greatly increased. What was previously measured as 5% weakening per 100 years has now increased to a 5% weakening per decade. This allows the space weather or cosmic energy to penetrate and interact with the Earth's atmosphere and crust more and more. The geomagnetic North Pole is moving many kilometers a year across the Arctic Ocean towards Russia, while the geomagnetic South Pole has left the continent of Antarctica and is moving towards the Indian Ocean. The geomagnetic poles are moving every year towards the equator. There are massive changes occurring in the Earth's magnetic field that are transforming life on Earth as we've known it, and yet the topic rarely makes the news. If we clearly comprehended geomagnetism, humanity would have free energy, understand time differently, would look at the moon contrarily, and it would forever change the methods science uses for carbon dating fossils and rocks. If humanity actually understood the Earth's magnetic field and gravity, it would present many conflicts in the theory of evolution that are presented in the fabricated historical chronology. Previous carbon dating methods have had radical time measurement differences that science does not share openly with the public. This is also the result of the magnetic field of the Earth shifting and weakening. Recently, when going deeper into the holographic architecture of the planetary body, it is clear that there are major geomagnetic shifts occurring that are producing incredible changes in the physical properties of the planet Earth. If the physical properties of Earth are changing, then it means the physical properties of our bodies are also shifting. Even the physical elements themselves are changing in chemical composition. The matter composition of our bodies is being altered, which impacts the state of human consciousness in moving towards an ascending arc or a descending arc throughout time. These changing geomagnetic properties have deep repercussions at the quantum level, which shift the balance within the state of electromagnetism, which greatly impact the rotational spin rate of energy on the planet. The change in spin rate influences the Earth's rotation, which is the rotation of the planet around its own axis. If we view the planetary body from above, from Polaris or the North Star, the Earth is turning counterclockwise. The axis line is the vertical central channel or staff, which functions as the main energy channel or Hara line within the center of Earth's consciousness body, interfacing with many dimensions of subtle forces leading up the frequency scale into the universal core. Currently, the radical shift in the magnetic field and core Earth resonance is impacting our physical coordinate location in time and space. Our bodies are skipping forward through time rapidly, attempting to keep up with geomagnetic shifting that is occurring in the planetary body. This has been observed as many people being jerked out of alignment with their physical bodies and noticing the energy layers and the core spiritual bodies are not centered properly on their vertical channel. When people are misaligned and not fully grounded in their inner core and physical bodies, accidents, injuries, and near-death experiences are much more common. The changing geomagnetism is also impacting the dark matter field and the interplay between the natural subtle forces, which change the way energy transduces into matter as it moves from the unmanifest level into the manifested form. Recent geomagnetic shifts have resulted in alterations and failures in the way microwave technology, alien black hole technology harvests and produces primarily black subtle forces to circulate in the Earth and humanity. Black subtle forces are contained in dark matter, gravitational waves, and are generated by the artificial magnetism in lunar transmissions from the moon. The manipulation of the Earth's magnetic field and gravitational forces are designed to manipulate DNA, control the carbon-based matter on the Earth body, as well as simulate these substances in labs for use as nanotechnology weapons. Essentially, the aliens' technological manipulation of the black subtle forces and dark matter have been used to manipulate and suppress the molecular structure in matter, producing artificial magnetic effects in order to compact and compress the molecular structure of the Earth body and the human body. Molecular compression is similarly to the piezoelectric effect. As matter is being squeezed, it gives off biological light emissions. In order to comprehend the nature of primal subtle forces and the reasons behind the negative alien agenda proliferating more and more of the black subtle forces in the earth, we will discuss these primal forces more deeply. 3 primal forces hidden in nature. The main powers of cosmic intelligence that are hidden within all of creation are also found within matter. These consist of 3 main primal qualities that are contained within the subtle forces of consciousness to which we are all exposed. The awareness and choices we make to interact with these subtle forces and their qualities determine the rate of our spiritual growth and consciousness evolution. The consciousness of nature functions through these intelligent forces. These are spiritual qualities that exist within these subtle forces that either expand our consciousness or contract our consciousness. These 3 qualities are available in every spectrum of frequency and energy in existence that are natural or organic to creation. To heal our mind and body, we must understand how these subtle forces work and learn to flow in harmony with them, because they exist at every level in the world and also inside of ourselves. It's helpful to think of the subtle forces as a triad of qualities or frequencies that are being directed. We may choose one of the 3 potentials that exist inside that force to interact with. Every organic force in creation has the potential of these 3 hidden qualities within it, while artificial intelligence forces, such as alien-based technology used to transmit a range of electromagnetic pulses or gravity waves, does not. Only the natural forces in creation, or our organic human consciousness, can interact and encode the artificial intelligence waves into the specific intention or thought forms that we direct as a spiritual quality to any source of energy. That ability to encode energy is inherent in the original human DNA and our human consciousness. This gives important clues as to why organic human consciousness is so coveted and why humans are trafficked off-planet. Because human DNA is required to power up the alien technology on and off-planet in order to actually have it work. Black subtle forces, negative polarity. At the base level, there are black forces that exist in the negative polarity that especially connect to the material earth elements and the force of gravity. It is the principle of unconsciousness or falling asleep in the material world, and its weight is very dense and heavy. As a result, it tends to produce inactivity, darkness, dullness, and an absence of light. while it obstructs the person's action potential or movement forward. When a person holds too much negative polarity of this black-colored subtle force in their energy body, they will show effects of ignorance, delusion, insensitivity, unconsciousness, and a lack of sensory feelings with little to no empathy. The profile of this type of person will also have deeply buried psychological or emotional blockages, with the tendency to be stagnant, repressed, depressed, or internally chaotic, making them distracted and unaware of what their problems really are. They allow negative forces, dark forces, and other people to completely control them, usually in the victim role, refusing to take responsibility for their lives. By refusing to take responsibility or make productive actions, this only allows their problems to escalate, along with the amount of black substance they generate as blockages in their body. Without balancing the black substance and transmuting it from their consciousness, they will digress into a state of internal chaos or apathy, with sensations of great physical, mental, and emotional pain or numbness, leading to states of disease. This is truly the state of hell, of the lost soul. The negative ego construct, militarized psychotronic weaponry, and the alien machinery is used on the earth to trap humans into mass-producing more and more black subtle forces. This ferments into black miasma, leaving the masses ignorant, deluded, and unconscious, therefore totally controllable. Consequently, the alien technology and mind control methods are designed to generate and circulate as much of this negative polarity, black force, and density in the human being as possible. Many people that feel depressed or stuck are sucked down in the weight of this negative polarity of this black force. The density of the black force blocks higher sensory perception completely. This type of person will need to take some kind of action in the positive polarity to help them dissolve the black energy accumulated in their body, which generates the sensation of extreme density and stagnation. Yellow subtle forces, positive polarity. In the middle level, there are yellow subtle forces that are in the positive polarity of activity, forward movement, transformation, and the ability to address and resolve conflict. The active quality encourages the force or power behind the movement necessary to make great changes, which is needed for transition and spiritual growth. These forces also may incite deep feelings of inspiration, passion, and personal desires. If the pain body has not been cleared appropriately, these desires can become overstimulated, taking the mind into obsessions and quickly resulting in pain and suffering. The pursuit of overactivity in the material world can be used as an escape mechanism from looking at the truth, as when these forces are imbalanced, they easily become destructive and explosive in the person's life. People that tend to be active too much of the time burn themselves out through excessive mental and physical activity. Many people that are in a chronic state of doing rather than being will tend to undergo shocks in their life in order to dismantle their energetic imbalances. The mind becomes agitated and stressed, as it's dominated by the negative ego, and thus unable to hold the observer and find the inner stillness of calm and peace. Many controller archetypes are imbalanced in these subtle forces as they tend to be materialists and are very unhappy and suffer when they feel they have lost control of their environment. Thus, these types of people are usually disconnected from their spiritual purpose. The overstimulation and need for constant activity makes it hard for them to be still, be alone, or meditate. Because the imbalances of the positive polarity tend to generate selfishness and short-term ego gratification, higher sensory perception and the inner compass of the heart become blocked. White or clear subtle forces, neutral or zero. In the top level, there are white or clear subtle forces that are the neutral energies. It helps to restore balance, stability, and peace as it transmits higher spiritual intelligence to bring energetic harmony and higher consciousness into the environment. The neutral quality and neutral force is what develops spiritual awakening. It is the virtues, goodness, and clarity that comes through the access to the higher spiritual intelligence, as well as connecting with the force of love that is inherent in creation. Connecting to this subtle force quality will develop the purity of the mind, body, and spirit, which induces consistent stages of spiritual awakening and the expanding of consciousness as the feedback loop to the 0 point is created within the body. Through the qualities of the white or clear subtle forces, we gain spiritual clarity and can perceive the truth in the people and things around us. This develops and strengthens our spiritual light through our focused concentration, attention, and devotion. When we hold the white or clear subtle forces as predominant in our consciousness, we experience our unification with the eternal God Self, which transcends all time and space. When we are capable of holding this state of neutral, it restores balance to all layers of our body, and this state is what is responsible for all true healing and sense of well-being. Our balanced health is maintained by this state as a lifestyle because it is in harmony with the natural laws, earth, and our inner spiritual self, which brings the gift of perfect peace. The state of neutrality recognizes the place of the black force or negative polarity and the yellow force or positive polarity in the cycles of creation. It discerns them without value difference, while observing them at work in the world of forces. Harmonizing the opposing forces throughout creation is the natural result of the white or clear, subtle forces of the neutral or 0 point. The universe is neutral, and as such, natural forces will always attempt to return to balance, unify, and bring wholeness to creation. Healing the imbalances of primal forces. If we understand that these 3 forces are governors of the movement of energy and consciousness inside our body, we can use this model as an assessment tool to help us heal, to help regain more health and balance. Our highest goal is to return to the top level and restore the neutral state of being, so that we can exchange feedback loops directly with the God Source or 0 point field. Generally, a person with imbalances of the negative polarity of black forces must move into the positive polarity of yellow forces to dissolve the black substance that has accumulated in their body. We must recognize our pain and suffering and learn from it by actually confronting it and knowing the reasons why the pain and blockage is there. This means we must move out of mental and emotional stagnation and into some level of self-motivation, physical action or goal, which keeps us moving forward in some direction or on a schedule. The black substance attracts the shadow forms, spirit attachments, and ghost entities. So this issue may also need to be addressed very specifically with people that are weighed down with black forces. Daily exercise and physical disciplines like martial arts, as well as goals for setting self-motivated actions, can be very helpful for this group because it breaks down these black forces. Many times, these black forces are accumulated from past trauma, and we must break from the past patterns and shift in order to bring new energies into our lives. To move out of the heavy burden of carrying these black forces, self-love, self-esteem, and personal healing must be the main focus. A person with imbalances of the positive polarity that has produced overstimulation and excess physical or mental activity must move towards neutrality, stillness, and holding the observer state of engaged detachment. This transforms both black substance and yellow force accumulation in the body into the pure white and clear forces of neutrality. Because too much positive polarity generates the service to self level of consciousness, this group needs to transition from self-motivated actions to selfless service, such as dedicating to the service to others. In order to move past selfishness, we must depersonalize our problems and see the pain in others as a result of the entire human condition on the earth. To create more inner empty space, we surrender our personal disappointments and sorrows to be willing to look at ways we can be of service to the greater whole, helping to be a productive cause to solve the problems on the earth. Highly mentalized people that have problems with quieting their mind and finding inner stillness may need more assistance with methods of psychological and emotional clearing. A cluttered and undisciplined mind makes the body restless. Through the study of negative ego functions and learning how to discipline the mind while working with resolving inner conflicts, they may do better with visualization techniques before they can meditate. To move out of the selfish imbalances of the yellow forces, the healing of humanity and the earth must become the main focus. A person that is moved toward embodying more of the neutral force will continue to develop and expand the pure qualities of gaining the ever-expanding consciousness that connects us into the universe and attaining perfect peace. In this state, we are not centered in our own personal issues, but focus on developing deeper communication with our divinity and gaining clarity about our place in serving the cosmic consciousness. We experience unconditional love and the many states of consciousness as one with the universal forces and the Creator, and seek to be in harmony with it all. As a human being, we should be able to self-assess and discern all of these three forces and their qualities in our nature and behaviors, as well as in the environment. The intention to continue to develop the state of neutrality, as well as neutral forces in our body, supports us to directly develop our consciousness and to build strength in our spiritual bodies. This helps to describe the important reasons why the emphasis on developing neutrality and the observer consciousness in all areas of our thinking, feeling, and behaviors has been especially emphasized in our community. Black subtle forces and the moon. Additionally, these same subtle forces are directed to us through stellar objects such as the stars, constellations, planets, satellite bodies, and of course the moon itself. Now that we can better understand the consciousness impact of the three main primal forces, we can comprehend why the negative alien agenda and controllers harness black subtle forces in order to control humanity and the matter world. From the Guardian perspective, our moon is an inorganic structure and did not come from our solar system. The moon is an artificial satellite that is locked into orbit with the Earth's body's magnetic core. Its use was for practical reasons to be able to have a moon base in close proximity to monitor and harvest humanity, and to alter the magnetic and gravitational fields of the planet. The moon base has black hole technology that keeps the magnetic spin rates powering up machinery that keep the connections open to the wormholes or hibernation zones that they have created. Through field research, it appears the moon's artificial influence is made upon the Earth's rotation around the sun in order to maintain an axis alignment with a black hole inside the center of the Milky Way. A major reason the solar system is so damaged is because these entities and humans are consistently creating rips and holes in the fabric of space-time through the abuse of technology. Further, these entities using the black hole technologies are spreading and proliferating much more black force substance and gravitational corruption into the Earth field. This generates toxic black energy that we call dead energy or miasma, which becomes littered in the planetary fields, and the extreme density of it makes many people feel very apathetic, confused, and depressed. When humans are disconnected from their light source, or there is an absence of light, this is the common experience. As an example, many sensitive and empathic people can feel the impacts of psychic attack or dark interference when more of the black subtle forces are being transmitted into the Earth during certain moon phases. The moon phases also connect to the activities of the moon lineages, who have consciousness bodies that are made up of these same black substance forces. Some of these entities can also be called black hole entities. They have no way to generate or produce a light source, so they exist as parasites on Earth humans that do have a light source. The more black force proliferated in the Earth field and in human bodies, the more easily these black hole entities can move around, possess human bodies, or become active on the Earth. It is easy to connect the desire to spread these black forces as directly connected to the purposes behind the satanic agendas that are growing steadily on the Earth. Most people on our planet are negatively impacted by the buildup of these black forces in their mind, body, and spirit, as well as in the Earth. When people do not know the black subtle forces are being used in artificial intelligence targeting and the transhumanist agenda, and there is no awareness of how to clear that mental construct or to refocus the mind on positivity, these frequencies can have a very negative effect when they become embodied. As the result of the transhumanist agenda, It is possible for both organic states of black substance and the artificial intelligence replication of dark matter fields to be enmeshed together in the human body that is of the negative polarity. The negative alien agenda discovered that the proliferation of black subtle forces made the carrier waves of artificial intelligence transmission and signaling to the masses much easier. When we come into contact with that level of artificially generated lunar forces in the black substance frequency, we can feel very sad and chaotic because it is detaching us from access to our light source. When the moon is projecting or transmitting this type of black subtle frequency to the planet, it is a type of acceleration in that black force and the entities that exist as a part of that negative frequency. Ghost chains, phantom entities, demonic entities, formless shadow creatures, and all negative types of energies are connected to this black frequency, which exists as a part of the subtle, intangible frequencies that we are exposed to on the earth. The organic black subtle forces are an intrinsic part of creation. We need the black force substance because it is actually part of manifesting the material physicality and gravitational force in this realm. Without the black force, our atoms would fly away, as it is what keeps our molecular and atomic structure actually condensed and together. It is necessary in the process of material manifestation and creation. But what has happened on the earth is a severe technological abuse that has manifested severe imbalances with this black type of the subtle vibration. This is because it is being produced and manufactured artificially through technological control exerted on the magnetic field and states of gravity. The levels of negativity and lunacy that we can more easily observe in people that are soul fractured are from embodying the severe imbalances of these black forces that are being transmitted from black hole technologies, artificial lunar forces, and military weaponry technologies. Consequently, this attracts much more of the negative spirits and demonic type of entities because they are made of the same black substance, and they will look to find a human host of the negative polarity to siphon. People on the earth that are locked down in the third-dimensional material density are being filled with a mixture of both naturally occurring black forces and artificially generated black forces based on their negative ego belief systems, behaviors, and actions. When a person is not connected to the higher aspect of their spiritual consciousness, which exists above this black force, this type of black force tends to overwhelm the body with extreme density and lower negative vibrations. In the pool of the gravitational weight, all of their inner light is being consumed by these black hole entities or dark forces. When this happens, the human body starts to become consubstantial with the same black frequency stream that these phantom energies, demonic entities, and shadow creatures exist within. When the human body matches the vibration of the black force, it becomes a conduit for that force and attracts even more dark consciousness, like satanic forces that are connected to the black subtle forces. Depression is a symptom of soul disconnection and the confusion of not knowing who you really are as a spiritual identity. When your heart is closed, when your emotions are closed, When your consciousness is shut down, a human becomes very sad and depressed. That state of depression from soul disconnection is related to this black subtle frequency force that is transmitted from the moon, from lunar forces, and from the artificial control of the magnetic field. The more spiritually developed we become, the more goodness and light we have accumulated in our crystal heart and aura. The more virtues we develop, the more power we receive to start bringing in that higher frequency to build a strong spiritual body. Our strong spiritual body and direct relationship with God is what protects us from the effects of the artificial manipulation of the geomagnetic field and the consequent spreading of the negative polarity of the black forces. Moon phases. The moon influences the subconscious mind contents to come to the surface of conscious awareness. A person that is self-aware on the spiritual growth path will seek to know themselves more deeply by studying the contents of their own subconscious mind. If you pay attention to the feelings that you are having during the full moon or the dark moon cycle, it is generally the subconscious fears or emotional conflicts rising up into the surface of the conscious mind. This gives us the opportunity to look at our fears, pain, and hidden weakness in order to clear and connect that part of our mind into the spiritual light. Don't be surprised that during the full moon and the new moon cycle, the effects of the black force are the most intense on our planet. This means that dark forces will take advantage of the moon phases, as there is an increase of those black subtle forces along with the extreme density of gravitational energy. When there is a full moon, there is that illumination from the sun's reflection that isn't there on the cycles of the new moon. As a result, the new moon has more intensity that increases the proliferation of black forces into the Earth environment. There is a pressure of contraction that is placed in the atmosphere of the Earth when the moon is in the new moon cycle. During the new moon phase is when the most gaseous pressure exists between the gravity forces, the lunar forces, and the magnetic field anomalies that occur between the Earth and the moon. These moon phases are days that are conducive for the black magic and occult rituals with negative intentions. Not only do we have a massive amount of that black subtle force coming into the Earth, we have black magicians, Satanists, and random people doing occult rituals that are trying to capitalize on those energies, which, in many cases, creates even more dark energies. This means that the psychic aggression, spiritual attacking, and phantom attacks are going to be more aggressive to the light-filled people on the full moon and new moon days. When we are aware of the moon's potentially harmful effects, it is easier to have proper context, take better care of ourselves, and not take it personally. Saturn base transmission to moon. Additionally, it has been recently observed that the solar system Stargate 7, located inside the planet Saturn, was also transmitting artificial intelligence beams through the moon that corrupted the ultraviolet wave spectrum in our planetary magnetosphere. The impact of several technologies used from this Archon base seem to have been recently neutralized in some of their effects, like seventh dimensional reversal technologies that allowed for having operable hibernation zones used in phantom areas as ambush pockets to get into the Earth field quickly through parallel doorways. The parallel doorways appear to lead directly into Lake Titicaca underground water base, which have been closed off and secured. Many underground bases scattered throughout the earth are in some kind of spiritual or material conflict for control and security. Correction of this particular artificial intelligence distortion appears to help people on the earth to potentially align with higher frequencies and to have a better functioning crown chakra or seventh dimensional energy center. The moon transmissions have been especially difficult on the human mental body and the ability to actually have a brain and nervous system that actually functions well. The anticipation is for an easier clearing out of glandular implants, pineal cages, and related crucifixion implants that can be more easily dissolved from the lunar distortion impact as a result. For those on the ascension path, this will gradually lead to clearer thinking, higher functioning glands, and the ability to build the perceptual bridge that accesses the functioning of the higher mind. Gravitational corruption. Currently, one of the deepest problems in physics is harmonizing general relativity, which describes gravitation of large-scale structures, stars, planets, galaxies, with quantum mechanics, which describes the smallest fundamental forces acting on the subatomic scale. Here in our community, we focus on the consciousness energy as the intelligence behind the form, and take account of these subatomic forces as they relate to how matter is constructed. We have learned about the primal forces that exist in nature, and more importantly, the agenda to spread the negative polarity of black subtle forces artificially in the planet and humanity. Although gravity is not considered a force, but a consequence of the curvature of space-time, it is being manufactured artificially through the technological control of the magnetic field and the proliferation of the black force, as well as through the control over planetary dark matter. Since the bifurcation, there is a growing awareness of how gravity waves are corrupted by those who know how to bend components of the planetary architecture in order to serve their quantum energy harvesting agenda. To begin to think of the gravitational field on the Earth, we need to study the nature of waves, water waves, sound waves, and electromagnetic waves are able to carry energy, momentum, and have a curvature or angle to their movement. By carrying these waves away from its source, like a planetary body, gravitational waves are able to siphon or bind with that source of energy that is radiating from that body, as well as influence its linear or angular momentum. In speaking to the ways gravitational waves have been corrupted in order to collect energy from a source, such as the Earth body, it appears that one reason small black holes are ripped into the matrix of the Earth's energy field is to create mini black holes. These mini to large black holes produce some kind of kickback to eject large amounts of collected energy that are bound together by these gravitational waves. This is one potential behind the Hadron Collider's particle accelerators and proton smasher technologies that are used at CERN and other research laboratories. These experiments create thousands of miniature black holes, and these produce something called kickback in the amplitude of the waves, which act as some kind of forced gravity wave collection. Like electromagnetic waves, gravitational waves have different wavelengths due to the source and the observer effects, and they can be used to warp space-time. This has been a serious issue for this planet under the control of an artificial magnetic field broadcast from the lunar or moon matrix, as well as the black hole technologies used for gravitational corruption. Gravity is a cause of space-time warping, which is one way to describe the war happening for control over the timelines, or the intended molecular compaction and control over physical matter, versus the struggle for freedom beyond the artificial timelines used to suppress and enslave human consciousness. Gravitational waves can pass through matter without being diffused or spread apart, and this allows gravitational waves to carry information from space or from the cosmic structure to a body, or in our case, to realign the planetary magnetic and gravitation field outside of the manipulation of alien technologies such as the gravitron. The gravitron is a part of the beast machine that holds the tilt of planet Earth at its unnatural and artificially sustained 23.5 degree angle. Black hole entities and Metatronic races created the gravitron vortex networks to link portals in our Sun and Earth, twisting the planetary blueprint into unnatural configurations called the demon seed. Naturally, the demon seed is fed by the increased proliferation of the black forces and gravitational corruption on the Earth. Metatronic reversals are manifested into energy spirals that harness the gravitron to create unnatural artificial gravitational fields on this planet. The gravitron is an electromagnetic harness field that is part of a larger electromagnetic harnessing structure called the net. These are black hole technologies that were orchestrated on purpose, through which this planet has been imprisoned by these fallen forces of the negative alien agenda. The gravitron is a device specifically used to keep the rotation of the planetary axis at an unnatural angle and rotation. But this technology is not working as effectively anymore. The planetary staff alignment is moving towards the due north pole of planet, which has been directly connected into its higher blueprint recently, which has activated the organic functions of the dark matter template body in the Earth. This alignment to the holographic blueprint of the Earth in its crystalline form is slowly returning the spinning axis of planet to align to its true north position. Our pole star is changing, and it is connected to the next stage of evolution for planet Earth as the true north evolves to a higher position pole star. In field research, it appears that gravitational corruption or gravity devices harness electromagnetic radiation as a type of energy collection, and also to control the holograms that are recorded in the false timelines or artificial timelines that are being pushed by the negative alien agenda. By controlling the photons or projecting light reversal fields, they can perpetrate cycles in time to repeat over and over. This is similar to a matrix glitch repeating a timeline. That history is repeating itself over and over, goes unnoticed by humanity because of short lifespans and because they cannot sense or understand how the gravitational field and geomagnetism is being corrupted. Electromagnetic radiation is the radiant energy released by certain electromagnetic processes. Visible light is one type of the electromagnetic radiation. Gravitational waves at the subatomic level are used as forces of interaction to mediate functions within forced particles that radiate energy. The technology is used to force particles that mediate interactions at the subatomic level, in order to harvest energy at the quantum level. Recently, it appears there is an increased desperation in the way the negative alien agenda desire to dominate and totally control the subatomic layers of Earth. During the bifurcation shift, they are doing whatever they can to maintain this nightmarish third-dimensional density of reality to be accepted by the masses. Dark matter body. Since last August, during a massive magnetic force discharge, the dark matter body of the Earth has been activated to function outside of the black hole technology suppression. It has begun to generate more pranic life force that is building new light body sheaths for the Earth body. As a result, there are many changes happening as the subatomic particles of elemental matter are rearranging to support the planetary body shift into the next harmonic universe. All communication systems that connect with these levels of the planetary light body structure, such as the core manifestation body, are undergoing fluctuation, reconfiguration, and rebuilding interstellar links that reconnect Earth portals to realign into multiple star systems and celestial bodies. The holographic geography is shifting, along with the false 23-degree tilt that disconnected various energy vortices and power grids in the planet's megalithic structures. As we move into the next harmonic universe, there are new communication systems coming online to help realign dormant Earth portals, such as connecting these megalithic structures. Some of them are visible on the surface of the Earth grid, and there are many that are not visible. This is occurring as a massive shift at the quantum scale is changing the law of structure in our planet, specifically in the architecture that governs function over our matter body, as well as our consciousness bodies. The dark matter template body, or Rasha body, is this area that governs function over our matter body, merging with the eternal source layers of our higher consciousness bodies. As the planet is preparing to move into the next harmonic of the universal time matrix, there are so many things changing, it is hard to find words for how all of these related pieces fit together. The appearance of the organic planetary dark matter template activation synchronized with major geomagnetic events occurring, as well as the transfiguration of the lunar forces and the reduction of the effectiveness of the alien technologies used to artificially control the magnetic and gravitational fields are all part of this. The dark matter body is the connection link that exists between the eternal light spiritual source body and the finite level of the light source body. It is what builds the layers of the light body for the material atomic body. Essentially, the eternal spirit body creates the layers of the dark matter body. The dark matter body creates the layers of the light body, and the light body creates the layers of the physical matter body at the atomic level. During the bifurcation shift to the next harmonic universe, we are observing the dark matter template and the dark matter body layers appearing in sheaths that are coming online and activating a new functional level of connecting the Earth body to the eternal source flows. The dark matter template is the blueprint on which the eternal source particle atoms and molecules are built in order to generate the layers of eternal light. This is actually a type of matter body that is fully merged with eternal spirit substance. The dark matter body undergoes a process that appears like full resurrection into light matter, at which point the elemental matter or atomic matter of the body has been resurrected into an eternal light substance body. The state of resurrection that exists as the dark matter body alchemically transforms itself through the intense heat of spiritual fire and bursts into pure light matter is what defines the building of the eternal Eucharistic spiritual body. The beloved aurora flows are very clearly helping to build the Earth's dark matter body layers with flickering and glittering opalescent rainbow pearl energies being observed as they are weaving through the layers in a beautiful tapestry of flowing currents. As the planetary body is able to hold these activated dark matter bodies, it is the same for each of us on the Earth to have the direct potential to interact with these same crystal forces. This is a major development for the Guardian Ascension support team that is helping us to build the human dark matter body that exists as the extension of our light body. The dark matter template holds a cell that has the instruction set for the new elemental body, the elemental body that is specific to the matter substance that is connected to the harmonic universe we are evolving towards. The process of building the Rasha body also spiritualizes the blood through what is called the crystal waters, through which the crystal blood prepares to animate the creation of the Eucharistic body. The crystal waters are the eternal living waters sprung forth in the first eternal creation, and are to be called upon to soothe and heal the soul and crystal heart and diamond sun body. Additionally, through these waters, the spiritualized blood of Christos flows from the fountain of eternal life and youth. Crystal waters support the Aurora Project in elemental re-encryption of the bodies, blood chemistry, and in healing the damage of blood toxicity and miasma recorded as reversals in the bloodlines. The dark matter body gives us another level of support to clear and heal bloodline issues inherited from alien hybridization. Glandular and hormonal suppression. The artificial manipulation of the Earth's magnetic field is also related to the suppression of the glandular system's proper functioning and its hormonal secretions made into the bloodstream of the human body. The most impacted glands that were rendered dormant are located in the brain. This means the intentional suppression of the pineal, pituitary, and the hypothalamus. These glands, in particular, work as a trinity and are required for our brain to read energy signatures. Human hormonal secretions allow the higher perception of subtle fields of energy in multi-dimensional states, as well as the ability to translate languages and meaning from color, sound, and images. When our hormones and our glands are working as they were designed in the original human DNA, it is much easier to expand consciousness through the access to expanded multidimensional perception. The female body and reproductive organs had additional levels of hormonal manipulation that cycled with the moon phases, which was a byproduct of the control over the female body for breeding programs and the reincarnation cycles on the Earth. As the lunar force and artificial magnetism transfigures into light, males and females are being released of constructs of lunar force manipulation that had control over the sexual organs and hormones. The evolution of the human glandular system during the ascension is currently effecting hormonal changes that relate to building of the new light body structure as an eternal orb body. This returns the freedom of interdimensional travel to the human being. The lunar force that controlled human bodies is now potentially being superseded with the solar force, which is coming from the base shield of the 7 sacred suns transmitting to the earth. As more humans transfigure the negative polarity of the lunar forces, black substance, and dark matter into light, the lunar force is alchemically transformed into solar light. This creates the unified balance through solar union. Souls of Tara. With current major magnetic shifts, matter substance is becoming less dense and changing its chemical structure. As it becomes more fluid and flexible, there are articles or things rising to the surface. This reveals an assortment of artifacts and objects manifesting from other timelines, as well as parasitic debris coming to the surface for witnessing. Future timelines reveal the fragments of various kinds of bodies, energetic bodies and spiritual bodies that were exploded and became intermixed with the matter substance in the earth body. Timelines from the 5D earth matter connected to the souls of the Terran body that exploded became a type of radioactive decay intermixed into the soup of matter that came into this physical dimension from the explosion event and the magnetic manipulation of the time and space fields. The world soul of Tara became a part of the atomic body of this physical planet, stuck and strewn between the first and the fourth dimensions. We are in a phase of time where the matter composition is changing into something less dense. And while it's in less dense states, we are able to move out these artifacts, assorted bodies, and consciousness remnants. As a result, some of us may have been helping in the recon and transit of the souls of Tara. So we leave you with God's sovereign free blessings to be applied on their behalf. I would like to finalize a God sovereign free blessing to the Terran souls, or souls which we are representing here and now, to have them go forth fully freed in the eternal light of God. Beloved, holy presence, in cosmic sovereign law, I am your compassionate witness in service to the souls of Tara, or the world collective soul of which this impacts. I pray with all of my heart to bless them and protect them in the eternal light of God, in the blessings of Holy Spirit and the spirits of Christ, to be fully freed from the spiritual burdens and shackles that have been placed upon them by those impostors and deceivers of God's eternal light. Through the light of God I am, and through the power of love in my heart, I consecrate and bless the world souls of Tara to be freed into their highest expression and true nature, that they may be with God. May they be God sovereign free in the eternal light of God now and always. May all beings be baptized and blessed in the Holy Spirit, so that the true nature of God and reconnection and reclamation of Christ is fully made manifest in this reality here and now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Please only take what is useful for your spiritual growth and discard all the rest. Thank you for your courage and bravery to be a truth seeker. Until next, stay in the luminosity of your avatar, Christos, Sophia heart path. Please be kind to yourself and each other with a loving heart until next month.